Hello everybody, welcome to another special edition of dDTalks. We're live. Listen, go ahead, share, tag, and invite, because the panel we have is unbeatable. Go ahead and share. Yes, go ahead and share. We're coming right back and I'll introduce the panel to you. What do women really want is the question of the day. Go ahead and share. Je ne suis pas ton maman. Je ne suis pas ton maman. Hey, Mr. K Mix. All right. Everybody, ladies, beautiful. You all look phenomenal. Likewise. Thank you. All right, so quickly, my name is Diane. I'm your host on dDTalks. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday, engaging people in thought-provoking conversations. So today we're talking to the ladies. Last week we talked to the guys. We were talking to the guys and they found out what do men really like. So guess what? The ladies are here to respond. Okay. And tell them exactly what we women want. We heard you all, but you know, we still got our list. Do we have a list, ladies? I have a list. Today. I have a list. Okay. All right. So before you get to hear from the ladies, just quickly introduce yourself, your name, and maybe a little bit of what you do, so that the audience gets to know you.
And my name is Bianca Mbeng. I'm the owner of Five Sisters Boutique and Bianca's Lash Bar.
All right.
That's what I do.
Welcome, Bianca.
Thank you.
All right. Next in line.
I am Anyi Atabong. I am a nurse practitioner and I own a medical practice by the name of Capital Multi-Health Group in Crofton, Maryland. So that's where I am.
All right. All the way from Crofton, welcome to the house.
Anne Arundel County, baby.
And next in line,
I'm Maika Ngong. I am a database administrator, and I am also the founder of American African Girl.
Yes. We want to find out what
If you don't know, you go.
Yeah.
Right. You gonna know today. You gonna find out today.
We need to know what that is all about. African American Girl. What's the impact of that in our society today? You know, but let's hear from our last panelist who's in the building.
Okay, Tania Chinje. I am Director of Operations at Inteller Group. It's a communications firm. It's what I do. It's not who I am. There you go.
Okay. I like how we separate the jobs from the identity, right? So you're separate from your job.
That's right.
Ladies, I know everybody is dying to know.
I know. People have been waiting.
People have been waiting, right? Curious to know. Curious to know. Bianca, it looks like you're going to start first, right? But seriously though, I mean, I think that's like an old age debate. Guys are always complaining, women nag a lot and stuff. But the question though is, what do women really want? I know we're talking earlier on, there were some gentlemen in the studio, you got to meet them later on, guys. And they had the audacity to say, women don't know what they want. Do we know what we want?
Yes.
Who wants to start? Really?
That's how we start.
You see, so like,
See, that's what makes the guys think that we don't know what we want.
That's how you validate the guys, you know, by taking that deep breath. Like, what do you want?
I think we know what we want, but we try to tailor to them at times. The general women, yeah.
That's a mistake.
And that's the problem that we have.
Right.
We don't assert ourselves.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so but I think we know what we
That
want.
becomes the problem. So that is the problem. Why don't we assert ourselves?
Because of cultural ideas of what a woman is. So we try to be what we're told we're supposed to be instead of just being ourselves.
So a lot of who you are today is therefore tied to your cultural identity.
Exactly.
To
Yeah.
society, to societal norms. It's tied a lot to societal norms. Just what the level ought to be.
But now you have a platform that says the African American girl.
It's American
African girl.
Which is precisely this point, right? The issue is the fact that, I am a Cameroonian, but I was raised in America. So I don't have the typical upbringing of a Cameroonian, right?
Right.
So, but I was raised in a Cameroonian home. So I understand certain standards, certain ideologies, but I grew up, my peers, right, are Americans.
Right.
Okay.
So my idea of a woman, I learned also in school too, right? What we're strong, we're whatever. We're free, we're independent, we can do what they can do.
You can do what a man can do.
Yeah, and but whereas I mean earlier on I remember it's more like, okay, you have to know how to cook.
Right.
You don't know how to cook, that's a problem.
Right.
You have to
Be submissive.
Exactly, don't go out too much.
Yeah.
Don't do
want
this.
people to think a certain way.
Exactly, you have to portray yourself a certain way. So yeah.
Okay. So what about you, Tania?
Ma'am, there's so much to say about this. I mean, I definitely agree with the fact that, women, we know how to compose ourselves. We know how to have emotional stability. We know how to, comport ourselves, right, emotionally. So sometimes you do have to cater to the man. I honestly think men are weak. I'm sorry. I honestly think that men are weak.
Are you saying they're weak from the emotional standpoint?
In most points, we just have.
In most points.
In most points.
You know there are going to be people coming back at you for that. What is the most points that you think?
That men are weak. I know that I'm 100% feminist. If you look right down from the
we are
Bible,
feminists in the house.
Oh, wait, I'm not a feminist though.
Women are the most powerful beings on earth. If you take out the WO from a woman, that a man comes out from a woman, they are the most powerful beings on earth. And if you go biblically, it actually says the other way around. So women is made from men. No, you think the other way around.
No, I'm not thinking. I'm just saying you quoted
Let
the
me
Bible.
break
so
it down
I'm just
for
trying
you.
to
Let me
clarify.
break it down for you.
Okay,
if
go back.
you go to the dictionary and look for a definition of a helper, God brought Eve. Eve was a helper.
A helpmate, okay?
A helpmate. Look for the definition. Who has a dictionary? Let's open
So,
it.
okay, what?
See the definition of a helpmate.
Okay.
A helper is somebody that lifts you. You must be falling before somebody can lift you. Somebody can help you out. You must be drowning.
That's
so who is a stronger person? The one lifting you up. So a woman is a stronger being. People have always misinterpreted that.
Broke it down.
Yeah, a woman is always a stronger being.
But society,
the woman is like
society
a palm tree.
argues that the woman is the weaker sex.
Because
right?
No, emotionally.
We
God
allow
made,
them to think that.
Thank you.
Exactly.
God made
And that's our strength.
Yeah.
We allow
You want to you stand that you are allowing the men to believe that.
Well, not
They're
me
weaker.
per se, but me.
Because
But in general,
we are here to speak for women,
that's true,
right?
that's true.
We're here representing the opinion, and that's why we brought a diverse platform, right?
Exactly.
You all have different. You're coming from different schools of thoughts,
Right.
and so you're arguing that women.
That's why I say society put those norms. It's now our place to take out those levels.
But you understand that if you go by that theory, that you are the stronger sex, that also means that there are other areas where you will have to assume that responsibility of being stronger.
Why not? Yeah.
You say that women are what? Emotionally stronger than the men, and so because you're stronger, you're indulging them rather than them understanding what it is that you want. So at what point are you really expressing what it is that you want if all you're doing is tolerating and indulging?
I like your question.
Yeah.
You know what? The point the point that I was trying to make is that honestly, we run the show. We really run the show. All right, and what that means is, I'm tolerating you to the point that it is okay with me. When I no longer want you, or when I no longer want you to do a certain thing, or when I want you to do a certain thing, we have, you know what? I don't count myself a feminist because I believe that there's this manipulative edge to women. And that's not a good thing. But we're very good at that. We're good at manipulating. And what that means is we know how to act soft, act a certain way to get the guy to do what he needs to do.
What your professor, you're saying being soft is acting.
No,
you're saying that we are not naturally soft.
We can
because
be.
You say we're
when we need
soft.
to be.
We can be when
we need to be.
Okay.
I guess. Sorry, my question now is like.
Sorry, Bianca.
No,
I'll come back to you.
It's fine.
No, I wanted to just say like my question is like, what is strength, right? Is strength like?
Strength is weakness.
Strength is weakness.
Yeah, your weaknesses are your strength.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, for what I've realized going over the years, I took out my weaknesses, and my weaknesses might make me the better person that I am. So your weaknesses are always your strengths. Don't always mix the two. For a woman,
thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Because
so for a woman to be emotionally weak doesn't mean that she's soft. That's her strength.
Mm-hmm.
That's where she pulls her strength from. So for you to be emotionally like that, that's where you pull your strength from. That's why you can get everything. Let me say, there's a saying my mother says.
No, you can't say where you're emotionally strong is where you're emotionally soft is where your strength is. It's contradictory.
You know what? Okay,
Can I say something?
I feel like maybe we might be losing the men in this discussion. Right? The thing is this. We can get what we want when we want. That's all it is. That's all I'm trying to say. We can get what we want.
We can get all we want, but apparently a lot of women are not getting it.
Yeah.
And that's why we are on this table. A lot of women are not getting what they want from the men. Yeah. And even the men don't seem to be getting what they want from the women. So the question is, what is it that we want that is not being communicated across?
That's the problem, because people are not communicating. There's
people are not being honest.
Yes, there's this big disconnect. And so that's the problem, is there is no communication. So I feel like a lot of us need to have that conversation. You need to be open and say what you want. Because we're not a mind reader. No one has a crystal ball. No one is going to be able to figure out exactly what your needs are. And so our needs are going to be different from your needs. But you need to know yourself too. Because what is it that you really want?
There are people out there that we keep going back to the problem. You have to understand your point. Exactly.
If we want to look at it, women need things in general. But at certain stage in life, each woman needs something different. Yes. What she needs is what is different from what I need at these stages in our life. What she needs is different from what. So if we're trying to generalize it, go by the majority, what society claims that women want, then we can talk on that. But if we want to individualize it,
no, you cannot individualize the discussion. You know, we going to individualize it is going personal, and there's a point where you have to narrow down and say these are my needs.
Right.
But we speak in generalities. Like in general, what is frustrating women? Like what is it about women that they're saying, I can't seem to get this, but these are the things that I really desire, that I want. If I'm trying to get into a relationship, what is it that you're looking for in general terms? I mean, of course, when it comes down to you and whoever you meet, of course, they're going to be specifics. But in general, I mean, you got to know, you've been talking to friends, sisters, and everything.
And I was just getting ready to say.
There's a common ground of what women really want.
It's so interesting because most women that I've talked to, ranging from ages 18 to like 76 in my practice, okay? And all of them tend to come around the term of, I just want him to be. So I want him to be there for me. So it kind of generalizes to be more of a support. Like I don't have him. He doesn't have my back. So more of an emotional support.
Okay, so what they want is emotional support.
Emotional support. That's
and
what
they're
lacking.
And they're lacking that.
And they're lacking that.
Why do you think that's the case, though? Why are we lacking emotional support from men?
They don't give it. I don't know.
No, because they don't give it.
They don't give it.
No, the problem is that where we are, the society that we are in, is tailored in such a way that
whole independent women, I got it. So I don't need you.
Okay.
Mentality.
Thank you.
Ooh, I'm glad you said that.
She
So
pinpointed what I was just
so
that society says that we don't need them, but do we not need men? Or do we need men?
No, we need them.
Of course we need men.
Oh, we need them.
No, we need them all.
They serve a very specific purpose. Household. The girls are laughing because of what I said earlier. Listen, when a spider needs to be killed, when a roach needs to be killed, they serve a very specific purpose.
No, are you going to reduce the man to
Yes,
like
indeed.
that is exactly what it is that the man, that's the man's role in your life. That's
Yes,
all
indeed.
he's there for.
Yes,
To
indeed.
kill spiders.
Let me tell you,
The question though is where do you live? Are you living in the jungle though, sis?
Listen, I didn't outline all the specific purposes. That's one of them. That's one of
okay, the
them.
problem is
Okay,
that
yeah, what's the problem?
The problem is
but
that
I want to
we're
come
not-
back to you and know exactly what that list is. Because you can't say you need a man, but you need him to kill spiders.
that's honey. You cannot judge her based on honey. The problem is that there are some women that are self-sufficient. Mostly when a woman is, when she has gotten to the peak of her career, her expectations in a man are very, very high.
High or low?
No. Let me say, for example, a woman is working in Wall Street. Will she need any kind of man? Her expectations, you need to meet up those expectations.
So what so
it's
I think-
difficult.
I think what she's trying to
most
say-
of you are technically doing well, but I'm not saying excessively well. By me, when I say doing well is you're probably being able to take care of your bills.
Yeah.
You can sustain yourself.
Right.
So if you're already there is a standard, right? That
But we
you're
have
out-
the culture plays part in this. So I will
So
not.
how is the culture affecting you though from getting what it is that you want from the man?
But
Then again,
it comes back
if
to
the man
support.
knows that all he's there for
It's the support.
is to
No. That
doesn't
is the
feel-
point. The point is they can't know that that's all you
That's
want.
the
them.
manipulative
my
side.
God.
Are you
That's the
kidding?
manipulative
No,
side.
that's when you come in and say, "Oh, baby, I need you. I can't do this without you."
That's the manipulative side,
That's
and we are
minor.
good at that. That's no. That's the.
I mean, I've given out all the secrets, but honestly, that's what it is.
That's the manipulative side, and that's a trait that
Listen,
women are born with. That's a trait. That
I
they're
can
born
change
with.
my own tire. I don't like spiders, but if I have to, I'll kill my own spider.
right.
But
If you're
they're
right,
there for a reason.
you have to
now.
kill the
like,
spider.
just
Okay,
do
so
it.
does anybody have a contrary view for why you would need a man to begin with?
No, I don't have a contrary view of that. No.
So
I
you
mean,
two believe that the man is
if he's around the house, he's there to protect the woman. Why would you leave?
okay? So
slave?
let's define that
Security.
protection. When a woman is talking protection that she needs from a man, right? What kind of protection are we talking about? By the way, guys, if you are just tuning in, we are talking with a panel of women, diverse views, and we
the
are talking
men are
about
angry.
what do women really want. Last week we heard from the guys. They told us what they want, and now we're telling the world what women really want. Clearly, we have varying opinions here. And so if you want to follow the conversation, ladies, if you're on your phone, I mean, so you can see some of the comments and respond to them.
Yeah.
And make sure your volume is low so that you can just follow the comments and you can be able to respond.
But last time you did not put any woman on the panel, so this guy should stop.
Well,
They should stop saying that they really need men on this panel. It's women. Only women know what they want. Men don't know what women want. If they knew what they want, what we want, they'd be putting us together.
Right. Well, so yes, this is a three-part conversation. So we heard from the men last week. We're hearing from the women this week. Next week we bring
be a
everybody on the
combination.
table. We have the men and the women, and let's battle this thing out.
I'm down.
Once and for all. Squash the
Okay,
details.
so let's go back to the
Squash
question.
the beef.
Let's
What
go
women
back.
really want. Let's now be telling you what women want. Because people
Can we?
really want to know what women really want.
Right.
Right.
And one of the questions was, do women even want men?
Some women, not every woman wants
So
a man.
apparently,
That's
so,
true.
so
Because today's society, a woman wants a woman.
Thank you. So not every woman wants a man.
Not every woman
wants
wants
a man. So let's be true to
for the
that.
women,
There's a
who
difference
want-
between want and need.
Thank you.
Okay, let's clarify that. Okay.
Yes.
It gets more complex.
No, but that is a valid comment.
Yeah.
Wants and need. What would you call a want? and what would you call a need?
Satisfy your sexual
Let's
desire.
clarify that for those who are just tuning in and who may be wondering, at what point, what is considered a want? And let's not even limit that. What is it that a woman wants and what is it that a woman needs?
True.
Vis-a-vis her counterpart, her companion.
Right.
And my needs, like a woman might say, okay, because I'm a sexual being, I'll need a man just for that purpose.
It is a
Okay.
need.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's a need.
So you're not looking. So in that case, booty call. You're not looking for a sustainable relationship.
Yeah.
So all you want the guy is show up,
do what
take
you
care of
gotta
my
do,
needs.
and off you go.
and hola, goodbye.
The difference between
Maybe can he earn a meal?
Can
get something to eat?
That's overdoing
That's
it.
overdoing it.
No, that's
So you
overdoing
just
it.
wanted to
If he was coming just for that purpose, he should do just that purpose.
And leave.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Once you give a handshake, they want to hug. Once you
Bianca
give a hug,
is
they want to
harsh.
kiss.
Okay, Bianca is harsh.
Yeah. I thought it leads to different
Beyonce
things.
harsh. My God.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so that's one of
it
the
becomes
needs.
mechanical.
So that.
Okay, so that's one
So
of the
that's
needs.
my thought
We're
of-
listening to women.
The difference of want and need is I really believe that women are very capable. We can do everything we want for ourselves. So a need is just how do you facilitate my want? I already can do everything I want for myself. But how can you make it just a little bit easier for me? That's the need. Okay?
I mean, I think for me, what I want is a companion, right? I think most women want companionship. And I think we don't get that, and so we become like, it becomes, I'm sorry to say, it becomes like, what can you do for me? Can you kill a spider for me? Can you give me sex? Like, but really, that's, for me, I personally feel like that's not true to what you actually really want.
Thank you.
As a woman.
Okay,
But
so
I feel like that.
no, I want to pursue that thought. So continue your train of thought. So what then?
Do women want?
No. Allow her to flow because I think you're going somewhere with that theory.
Right.
So defend that.
And I mean, I guess I'll speak personally. I speak from my own self, right? It becomes more for me, like I said, a companion, right? Somebody that I keep saying it. I keep telling my friend and other people like I want my best friend. I want to marry my best friend, right? So that's somebody who I know that no matter what happens to me, no matter what I do, no matter what mistakes I make, no matter what I gain, you're there for me. And goes back to support. It goes back to
Respect.
stability.
Yes.
But I don't think
can-
we're disagreeing. I don't think we're saying two different things.
You just
I
do
think
something.
that what I'm saying, so she calls it companionship. To me, right? You're giving me, I cannot entertain myself for a very long amount, like for a very long period of
But I
time,
mean, it
right?
seems
No,
like
but I
that's
think-
No, but the thing is,
it
but
seems
then-
like that's
I
the
feel
logic
like-
you're going
I
by.
feel like-
And
no,
that's
no.
when you say you can do everything.
Then
I can't,
all
but
you
then-
need-
but then
all
what
you
did I
want, so it's not even a need. Because you're saying all your needs are met
Yes.
by yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the man is at a want level. So
But
you
then,
don't
but
need
what
a
is
man
that want
practically.
level? That want level is you're making this thing that I can fulfill on my own. You're making it easier for me. So yes, I can sit and entertain myself, watch my show, read my book. But when a guy is there, it's easier. It's nicer to have companionship.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
Because
But it's
you
not
can-
a need.
No,
Because I can do
because
it on my own.
Tania, you have to admit though that yes, you can entertain yourself, but it will not be sustainable over a long period of time. So let's say if you were to remain with no companion in your life, let's say for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you will get to a point where you needed the other person.
No.
Because yes. So how celibate can you be?
Quite
How long can you go?
for a while.
What is the longest you've gone?
Quite a while. My father will be watching this. I need to watch myself.
All right, parents, disclaimer here. We're not trying to go personal on
No,
Tania,
but the thing is
but
that
we're just trying to push,
I mean, if we're gonna go there, let's just go there, right?
Right.
What is satisfying yourself? Is the orgasm, right?
Right.
I can get an orgasm by myself.
I did
I don't
know.
need to
I
have
just
sex.
told you.
I don't need to have
This
sex to do
man
it.
So
know how to get
So,
addicted.
do you believe, therefore, that
So he facilitates that orgasm. He makes it easier for me. I don't have to pursue it by myself.
But
I'm
speaking
about men like it's like they're an
object.
And that's not right. And that's the problem and that's the reason why
we have two like majority of men treat women like they are objects.
Doesn't mean that's right. So
it doesn't mean that that's right. So you cannot judge her, babe. You don't know what.
I'm not judging her. I'm just saying that
she's making a remark.
Yeah,
she's making a remark on what she said.
Yeah.
And it is true. If you argue from that standpoint, then someone listening is like, damn, this is what they see me as. I'm just this thing that shows up. But Maika, you talked about something. You said, you're looking for a companion. Maybe the problem lies in the phrase we keep using, that you want a companion. By therefore saying it's just a companion,
they believe that you want them.
No, we're not really looking for long term. And maybe that's really the problem. So they already identify, they can read that you're not looking for long term. You just want somebody to meet these needs, right? Who is just there short term. Right, there's somebody calling at me. Who's angry? Uh-oh. Hi, this is a dDTalks show.
Hi, good evening. I was just calling to contribute.
Oh, you want to contribute? Sure, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Sure. My question is, can we really, I don't think the topic is reflecting what is being spoken, because I think the women are talking about why women want men, not really what do women really want.
Then we're talking about what? That we don't. Why?
We're talking about why women want men,
not
what
just what the women want.
Okay, I mean, but the conversation sort of went that way. We might as well
touch it a little
bit, and then come back to focus. Thank you. So, what else did you want to contribute? So, we need to refocus. That's what you're saying.
Well, I'm just saying that we should put that as one of the needs or wants if we really want to regulate and move to maybe other ones. Except that's our, specific target for tonight.
Thank you so much, sweetie.
Thank you so much. I think we'll get back on track.
Everybody
I appreciate that. All right. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so ladies, you heard them. So I guess some women are watching and they feel like we're not addressing the main point. But it doesn't. But I still want to just touch on one of those things. When you use toys to satisfy yourself, right? So is that becoming a handicap to real life relationships? Because that may be perhaps why you are finding that you don't really need the other person. Because we fill up the room that those people should occupy.
A lot of women say it's difficult to get a good man, so then for them to get a bad man come into their life and mess it up, they should just turn to their dildos. I interviewed a lot of women today. He could marry weakness. A lot of them said that.
You did your research before coming. Yes. That's good. Mm-hmm. Well, so hey, I guess instead of getting, there is a shortage of men. So maybe that's part of the solution. Anyway, so let's get back to perhaps that's part of the solution. But let's get back. Let's try to get back to one of the main issues at hand. What do women really want?
Women want for me. I say women want money. Women want respect. Women want security. Like what
we have
said,
another caller.
Women want companionship.
Yeah.
Women want
caller,
safety.
Welcome to the show. This is dDTalks.
Hi. So I definitely cannot speak for all the women of all womankind, but I can definitely speak for myself. That I, as a woman, I want to be felt, I want to be heard, and I want to be seen, and not
acceptance.
So I want to be heard and understood. I want a man to give me his attention. I want to be felt. If I'm going through something, I want the man to feel me, and I want to be seen. I want to know that he sees me, he appreciates me, he understands me, and that to me, that's what I feel like I, as a woman, want from a man, and
to feel appreciated.
Yes, to feel loved, to feel appreciated, to feel heard, to feel seen, to feel like I am complimented by my partner.
Okay.
We are there to support each other, and it is not there is no winner or loser in this. We are complementing each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's what I, as a woman, want, and I think most women would connect to this. That nobody wants to be married to somebody who is ignoring them, or nobody wants to be with somebody who.
You don't mind? Okay, so there's some of your panelists here I disagree with you, which is very interesting because I thought that is that
No,
would be
I
something
wanna hear
standard.
her
So
it makes you.
anyway,
It makes
thank
you
you
the
so much for
woman.
calling in and
It makes
contributing.
you think. It makes men think.
Let's hear what the ladies
women
in-house
think that
have to
you're
say.
less of a woman. It makes
Thank
you
you so
look
much for
like you're
calling.
needy. You're desperate.
But
You have to know.
So you think that by
makes
desiring a man's attention means you're desperate?
No, I'm not saying that by desire. The way she took, the way the tone and everything, it shows that you, for a woman, like we're talking, you have to know that for yourself. You have to be able to make yourself happy. You have to be able to compliment yourself before other people can appreciate you.
Sometimes
it has to start
You have
with
to be
you.
able to compliment yourself.
I have to look at myself at the mirror. I'm very beautiful. I'm this.
Girl.
I'm curvy. I'm all of this.
Confident.
That confidence has to be there. You don't need a man to be telling you all of that. You have to.
No, but if I had a line, I'm sorry though.
The man should just be an icing on the cake.
Personally, if I mean, I know I'm confident and everything. I believe in myself. But if I have a man there, I want him to tell me why are you there. If
That's an icing. That's an icing on the cake.
It's not an icing. It's not an icing to me. To me, it is part of my wants.
See, what if a man that is not romantic? What if you meet by a man that there are men that are not romantic?
Bianca.
Not that they don't love you, they are not romantic. They cannot tell you those things. They find it hard to express.
That's why we are on this table. That's why we are here. To address what it is that we want. You're not romantic and you don't know how to say those things. Well, that's one of the things we want men to learn about women. That we want you to appreciate and acknowledge us. I want to dress, right? And my man tells me, girl, you look fine.
Right.
Yeah. I feel good.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good.
And vice versa.
I don't know about you.
You know?
For me, I feel that for me, I will take it as an icing on the cake because when I dress, I stand in front of the mirror, I turn around, I spin around, I say,
I have a problem if I go out with my man and other people are complimenting me and he hasn't said anything.
Then
you should know the man that
you
Okay, so she says you need to change the man just because
if he's not doing what it is that you want him to do, then
that's why
change
women
him
can
now.
already
Exactly. Well, you're right
Because
about
the
that.
men
If
are
he's
not doing
not
what
meeting
they're
your needs.
And that's why we need to communicate our wants.
Yes,
to the man.
exactly.
We
So
have
you
to
need, yeah,
communicate your
it has to be.
No, hold
communicated.
on, no.
it's true.
Because if Diane, if Lady D is wearing her dress, and then she has to say, "Baby, don't I look fine in my dress?" And then he says yes. You think she'll be happy about that?
No, but
she
she
won't.
shouldn't have to
She'll
say
be
that.
like, "Why should I have to
say
say
it?
exactly?" So then
I
that's
shouldn't
not
have to.
communicating.
That's why you have
I
to.
don't want
to
to
edge him
communicate.
on.
That's why you have to know the man that you're with. You have to know him.
And listen, my problem in all
you
of
have
this.
to know yourself.
My problem,
you have to know that
my problem in all of this, can I just say, my problem in all of this is that we are relying too much on
men.
Other, not even just men, just affirmation from other people. What that lady said, I appreciate everybody's opinion.
Right.
But she basically said, I want to feel accepted.
Thank
want
you.
to. All of these are dependent on someone else.
On yourself.
If you're asking me what I want here,
depend on other people.
I want to be.
That means if they are not there,
Okay,
you
let's
kill
hear
yourself.
what
I want to be woman, and I don't want to be questioned.
Thank you.
That's what I want.
Okay.
You ask me what I want. That's what I
So
want.
why want to be
I do
boss?
not want to be. I do not want to be questioned, and I want to be
You know what?
me.
Okay.
I don't
But
want
let
to
me
be
tell you something. Part of being in a relationship with someone requires a level of
Why are we talking
accountability.
about
It's not
Absolutely.
necessary. It's not necessarily being
level.
questioned, but there's a level of accountability that's
okay.
required if you're going to tango with someone. If you're going to do the dance with somebody, you have to expect that. You can't just come to the table and expect that
right.
it's just everything
Yeah.
that you say. Where is the compromise? At what point do you compromise?
Bianca said something earlier that
You don't compromise.
No. What she said earlier was that women want different things at different times. We're very dynamic beings, right?
Yes.
I feel like men are, I'm sorry, I call them weak, but I'm also going to call them simple. I really feel like men they're very one-track minded.
Thank you.
They're not very dynamic in their thoughts.
That's meant for
Yeah,
you.
you know, Tania, that's probably the men you're around. Because
No,
I would
I can
argue,
say
no,
that
it may be the men you're around though,
No.
because I would
Mindfully.
argue the reverse, that, I've met some men who are very diverse and who are very, well-rounded. So you can't really just go by that path.
So at
and
the
say
end
that
of the
they're
day,
this
that's
way.
what.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we are boiling down to the same thing. Like I said, this is a question that will never be able to solve the question. Answer to the question. I said that
there will
earlier.
never be a solution
to this question. At the end of the
there's
day,
never a solution. Then there is no wonder why women will always be shortchanged.
and there's no one that men will not always know what women want, because sometimes like. When I was younger, I wanted something different. Right now in my life, I've gotten to a level where I want something different. So if individually, it boils down to every woman. Like the one that called you, she said she wants acceptance. I don't want acceptance. I don't want. I want acceptance.
I don't want acceptance. I don't need acceptance.
Thank you.
It will be different.
It will be different.
There are 5 women.
I want acceptance.
No,
I don't understand what do you want a man?
Right now in my life, I've gotten to a point where I want to build world. I want money.
So can I say the question is, was there ever a time where you wanted those things?
Okay, now that was saying that different stages in life.
But was there ever a time? There's a man calling. Hi, you're calling live on dDTalks.
Yes, good evening, ladies. This is Divine Chiamoko.
Yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm really loving the discussion. I actually was unfortunately too late to get into the discussion of last week. What do men want?
Okay.
I appreciate you bringing the other side to the discussion on your show today.
Sure, thank you.
Now, you're asking what women want. Well, you might as well just go start reading all the textbooks in the Library of Congress.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I'm talking to this group of beautiful, articulate ladies in your studio. They must be thinking I'm crazy.
Mr. D,
but
no.
you see,
Mr. D, no.
See, this is the problem. Like last week, we often ask ourselves, what does X or Y want in a relationship? I think we should be asking ourselves, what do I put into a relationship to want something back?
That's what men have been saying.
Okay.
Uncle has landed. Uncle has landed.
Because if the emphasis is what do men want or what do women want, then the approach is greedy, because it's what do I get from it?
Thank you.
Now, relationships, I keep saying, is like a bank account. You cannot you can't draw on accounts when you didn't save money in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we looked at it from the angle of what do I put into a relationship to want something back, I think our relationships would be a lot better than what we find today. Like the Shark Tank, I'm borrowing Lady Diane's words some time ago. Like the shark snake pit that we find ourselves in today. Because it is, what do I want? What is it? What is it there? What is it? What is in it for me?
Okay.
Not what do I put in. And if you don't, if we looked at these things from the angle of what do I put in first, then you have a situation that both parties in a relationship, each person is trying to put in something.
Okay.
But if they approach this thing from what do women want or what do men want, then it's like you're drilling down into a pit to dig up gold, and when you don't find what you want, it becomes a problem. You're not asking yourself, what am I putting in?
Okay.
You can only get as much as you put in.
Sure.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the panelists here are eager to respond to your comment. So
Sure, and I'll be glad if they have a question for me.
I have a question for you, Mr.
Oh, okay, they have a question for you.
The
Okay.
question is that society has made us, we're talking about society has already made us to think that way, that women want certain things, that companionship, that respect. So when a woman meets a man, those things are already mapped out. I want this, boom, boom, boom. And if the man cannot produce that, then the problems start arising. But see, we know we're in the 20th century. So society
Anyway,
has brought that up already.
Mr. Divine, thank you so much for calling. Let me get the ladies. Did you have another point to add on?
The point, I just wanted to make a remark that, you see, society has, relationships should never be a community project. It is about how the parties want to function in the relationship.
Right.
To me, it's what I give in first. Let me just round up this way.
if I want a woman to treat me nicely, the first question I want to ask myself is, what am I doing to elicit that reaction from her? So I first ask myself the question, what am I putting in to get a certain reaction back?
Okay.
Not just to walk in and what does Divine want, or what does Mary, or what does Grace want? That is exactly why our relationships are having the myriad of problems that we have.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much. Let me revert to the panelists and see what how they respond to your comments.
Thank you. I am listening.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ladies, so he talks about what do you bring to the table.
Yeah. That's a different.
But then the thing is, even before you go to the table, you're coming to the table because
you want something.
You believe you have something to bring, to contribute. So, but what are you bringing? Do you feel that you're vested? We have to also focus on what is it that you want before you're going to the table. Do you think you need to participate on this table?
Can I respond?
Yes, please.
I don't know if I have a direct response to that, but my thing is we're over here discussing what do women want. So it's important that I know what I want at that time in my life. So what I'm telling you now is that what I want, right? I said I don't want to be questioned. So the kind of relationship, if we're sticking to this relationship discussion, the kind of relationship I want is a guy who isn't going to question me. Is a guy who trusts my instincts and therefore is not going to question me. And that's what I'm looking for. We're asking, what do women want? We're not asking, how should women be? We're not asking any other question. We're saying, what do women want? I'm telling you what I want.
Right.
The problem with men and even society in general, even your workplace, they don't want to hear what I'm saying about what I want.
Right.
They want to define it in some other way. I'm telling you that what I want is what I'm telling you. Believe my words.
Okay. Thank you. So, yeah, because they come from the position of you don't know what you want.
Yes.
So, I'm telling you what it is that you want.
Society already puts it to your face.
We're coming here because we're saying we actually have a list of things that we want.
Yeah.
But we're waiting. You started a nice list of and then we had two contributors that talked about wants. They want security. Right. To a woman, what is security even? When you say you want security from a man, what is security to you? How do you define security? I do understand that we have different needs at different times. And that's where we're represented here, different genre, different women, single, married, whatever, right? So we are coming from different perspectives. Hopefully, through all our views, you will sort of have a summary of what it is that women are desiring. What is security to you as a woman? Is it even one of the things? Is it on your list?
It's on my list.
Okay, so when you go to this...
Well, I said financial security.
Okay, financial security.
Yeah, a woman wants to be financially secured. I don't want to be in a house with a man that cannot hold up one job.
Mm-hmm.
If you, that's contributing. That's bringing to the table. You don't necessarily have to meet to my standards.
Somebody can have one job.
Yeah, you don't have to have 3 jobs.
No, I said that cannot hold on to one job. That means this week he has the job. Next week the job is gone.
Okay.
So that's not contributing to the table.
No, what if he has that one job and that one job brings?
It's exactly. That's contribution. He's contributing.
What you say is maybe the right statement would be that he cannot hold on to a job.
And then that's it. So me and I'm a woman, I'll start getting agitated.
So what if it's a business? What if he has a sustainable business?
No, if he has I'm fine with that.
You just want to make sure that there's some kind of money.
There's income.
There's income.
Financial security. So what you're expecting then from him? So he has this viable income coming in, whether it's from business or from a job.
Yes.
How is it translating to your security? So he has his own money.
Okay, let me say.
So you want him basically to contribute to, let's
the
say,
household.
bills.
Well, no, we're married. Let me say, I'm talking at the point that we're married or living together. We have kids. The Bible says a man that cannot take care of his household is worse than an infidel. That man should be cast out of the society.
All right, girl.
So as a man, you should be able to be financially secure, to be able to take care of your wife and your kids. Right. If you cannot take care of your wife and your kids, the next man on the street will take care of that.
So when you're saying two different things, because you've just been saying how you don't need a man.
People now accent
was job.
I don't know what's in the Bible is. And for me, I believe that first of all, I'm a Catholic. I have nothing against the Bible, but disclaimer. But you cannot be used. Some references I feel don't apply 2019. You know
No,
what I mean?
that's 2009. Then we should not be saying that cultural, because cultural is what your mother taught you 20 years ago. We should not be going back to culture.
And I believe
This
that
is
too.
20th century.
I believe some of the
We
cultural
should
things
dwell into the millennia.
That's
If
what
we're
I'm trying
going
to say. The old ideology of what a woman is, what marriage is, what a wife is.
it's different.
It's different from
If we
from
take
today.
it what it is in 20th century, we'll be going by what she's saying. The
So maybe the problem is that here you are, 20th century woman,
Yes.
and you have these values, and then you're still making biblical references that upholds a different standard of what a woman should
I
be,
don't think that's what I'm trying to
and
say.
what a man is supposed to be. Because if you're taking it back to the Bible, then the Bible also asks you to behave in a particular way.
To be submissive.
To be submissive.
Let me tell
and
you,
everything.
if your
so you
husband...
you can't want biblical.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
You
not...
have
Lady
one
D,
way.
call on me.
Yes,
Call on
yes. Take it back to Tania. Take it back to Tania.
Okay. All these things I've been saying, people might think that, oh, feminist, this, that, and third. I'm very traditionalist. I think a woman should take care of her
Your
man.
views, my dear.
Okay.
Your views
Listen,
are
no,
not
listen though.
reflecting
But
your
listen to what I'm saying.
traditional values.
It's not.
should be a virtuous
It's not.
woman.
The woman should take care of her man. I enjoy cooking for my man because I know that he's gonna do something for me. I don't need to do it. I don't expect.
So
to
you're
do it.
cooking.
But
You're
I don't But I love
So
doing
you're
it.
not
But I love doing
So
it.
if you're
for
cooking
him.
it because he's gonna
Don't
do
give me
something,
something
then
that-
you're not cooking. You're not cooking
But who
because
said
you
I have
don't.
to- did the Bible say that I have to cook?
No,
because I like to cook?
no, he said you should be submissive to your husband. But if my husband cannot
But
afford
I
to
had a
make
point.
me
I had a point.
do all of these things to
I had
respect
a point.
you.
All these
Okay,
biblical
go ahead.
references in
Yes.
this. I don't know the exact Bible verse and chapter and all of that, but it says that at some point it says that the woman is something like the neck. She holds the head up.
Correct.
She holds
Corinthians. Let me
the
give you
the
example.
head.
Coming
So
from-
Yeah,
this
yeah,
goes
yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yes, Bianca will back me up with the actual verse and chapter,
Yes.
right? But here's the thing: we started off this thing by saying that women, we called it manipulation. Call it what you want to call it. But the thing is that all the while we're in control, right? We are giving you the position of head,
If the
right?
woman is not
We
there,
are
you're
in
nothing.
control.
I love the fact that I like to believe. I like how you're saying that you're being zealous, confident about the fact that all the while we're in control. Reality, though, on the ground, is that women don't really have. They technically
We don't assume our control.
have that power, but they're not exerting it.
We don't.
Why you
Yeah,
don't
you don't.
know?
Yes. They're not utilizing
See, why
by
did she put
choice.
technically? She would have said
Technically.
women don't have that power.
It's
Don't
by
have technically.
choice. Because if you look
Because
at
technically we have the power.
technically you do, but a lot of women don't probably know that they do.
That's
And
what
know
we don't
today,
know.
women know today.
Self-esteem. You have to
power.
build
Just
up
do
that
it.
And the
esteem
thing
to
is
know
that
that you're
you can
powerful.
have power,
You're
but if you
strong.
don't know how to utilize it,
Learn how to use
power
it.
in the wrong
Can I
hands
say
is
something?
wrong.
Can I say
Yes, go
something?
ahead, please.
I believe that we have the power, but it has to be with the right person. Because if you're with some, yes, if you're with somebody who doesn't care about you, what does it matter whether you're?
Why
good
will
or
you
not
be in the
good?
Why
booth
are
with
we
somebody that
relying
doesn't care
on
about you in the
someone
first
else
place?
for
A lot of us
our
are in that. A lot of
affirmation?
women are in that.
No, you have
No,
no
we're not
business
saying that we're
all
letting
in
them have
there.
the affirmation. What we're
No,
saying,
it's why are we
you must-
relying on anyone
Thank
else
you.
or anything else
That's
for
it.
our own affirmation?
Thank you. As a woman, you're supposed to have those instincts. If you meet the wrong man, after 3 weeks of being with that man, you know that that's
Yes,
the
but
wrong
that-
man.
but that's
Every
part
man
of
you
it.
see keep
But
staying
the
with him
majority also-
because that's what you want.
Every human being is rely on this. Rely on
the
another human
degree
being.
at which
I don't
you have
care
women
what you
being
tell me.
found in abusive relationship, infidelity,
Yeah.
domestic violence, emotional violence, all of those things tells you that there's a disconnect.
Somewhere.
And-
But what do those
that's-
stem
it-
from? All of those things stem from control.
Control of what?
Control. No,
Then
but the
who's
thing is,
control?
how
The man-
can
so who's
you have
controlling? The man
emotional?
controlling?
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why
you
you
had
need to assume
if
that
you had
control. That word.
if
is
you
control.
understood
They
the
need to
power
know
that
your
you had,
limits. They
if
need
you
to know their
understood your
limits.
strengths and understood that power lies in you, then you will not be a victim.
So then
Because
maybe
you
that's
knew that
what
at the
all
end of the day.
women from here until Timbuktu, every woman needs to work on finding her own power, her own control. That's
Okay.
what we all need to work on at the end of the day.
If you
Yeah.
work on yourself as a woman, then you'll not have the problem with the next person.
But
You'll be able to deal with the next person.
Yeah.
You'll know where the person is coming from.
Wise.
If you work on yourself as a woman.
You can work yourself. You can be very confident, but if you go out and you meet a
meet the
man,
wrong
and you
person.
marry
Once
somebody,
you know that the person is the wrong person,
So-
why do you keep staying in the
why?
relationship?
So why you-
pack
because
your bags and you're
you-
out of that relationship?
People change. What if the person change for the worse?
If the person change for the worse, we are in a country where the law favors a woman. Pack your bag. If the relationship is not suitable, pack your. It's just that we hang on the fact that what will my parents say? My parents don't believe in divorce. What would my friends say? What would they say back home? Yeah. That's why we keep staying in those abusive relationships. Pack your bag and get out of there.
So what women want is therefore to have the ability to not be dependent, to have these cultural ties then that tie them into these relationships that are so-called, that may be considered a bondage. Because if you're saying the reason you are staying in a relationship that is going contrary to your desire, contrary to your wishes, your wants, is because you have fear for your family back home. Yeah. Therefore, maybe what you want now is that you don't want that dependency on those cultural values. You want freedom.
Women want freedom.
That's the word I was thought about when
you
said
freedom.
To be able to flyer. I said freedom.
Right.
Because I feel like, I speak again for myself, I feel like this, I think now I'm coming out of it, but in the past I had this bondage, like I have to be this way, I'm not this way, this is why I don't have this is why it's not happening to me.
Right.
Now I was like, no, this is who I am, me.
Do you?
Yes. This is me.
So you want to be free
to
love who you want.
Yes.
And without feeling compelled to justify your love. You know how, let's say, because earlier in the show, you ladies talk about the fact that a lot of your identity is tied to your cultural heritage.
Yes.
Therefore, it means even sometimes, and if it has something to do with your cultural heritage, it means even your choices of who you potentially date or who you potentially consider as a lifelong partner. Let's say when you're trying to marry, you have to think about, will my family be okay with this
person?
So you may turn down someone because they are not already meeting this predefined criteria of what your family would approve for.
Right.
So you're not free in your love.
Yeah.
So that's what if your family is telling you, go find happiness.
Yes.
If you find it in China, good for you. If you find it in Haiti, we're happy for you.
So that's what I'm saying. Why is that the same thing? If you work on yourself and know you and take your ground as a woman, stand your ground. Nobody should put you, tell you that this is what you're supposed to do.
But then it's not about that. What if you love your family? It's about you being intricately tied.
Then you don't want to be happy. If you want to be happy, then do you.
The thing is, this comes with time, though.
Yeah, this comes with time.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You have to build it up. You have to
work. This sense of I am pursuing my own happiness, which is a human right to pursue your own happiness. That comes with time. Unfortunately, this viewpoint that I have now is coming later on in life. Perhaps when I was younger, I would have married the appropriate, meets the family requirements, this, that, and the third. And so yes, I'm going to say that there's some younger women out there who will say, well, but what will my dad think? What will my mom think? But this comes with time. Unfortunately, it's something that just maturity and time brings you. And what it stems from is I know myself. Today like this, nobody can tell me that I don't know myself. Somebody tells me that I don't know what I want. I'm just gonna it blows my mind. Like, oh no. I know what I want. But it's taken me a while to get here. So, I admit that.
When we come back, I want to hear what Tania really wants. All right, so hey guys, if you are just joining us, first of all, this is Diane. I'm the host of the dDTalks show. I have with me in the studio a panelist of young ladies talking about their views on what women really want. Last week we spoke to the guys, and this week we're talking to the ladies and trying to figure out what do women really want. I know a lot of people argue that women don't know what they want, and someone is actually, I said, Steve McDowell says, listening to these beautiful ladies, one can be tempted to conclude that women don't really know what they want in men. That what we don't know what we want in men. So that's one of the conclusions.
Can we go on there and answer?
Yeah. I mean, we can respond right here. We don't have to respond to the comment here. I'm just saying though. So we want to reintroduce the panel. I have in the house. I have Bianca. I have someone is out of the we have Bianca. We have Anyi. If whoever is texting Anyi, whoever is texting Anyi, please get off her phone. She is live right now. And if you are a dude, what Anyi wants,
ask her what she wants.
Let's ask Anyi right here. What does Anyi want? Be left alone when she's on live.
What do I want?
And we have Maika and we have Tania. These are diverse women. We're all talking about what women really want. So let's get back because she was distracted by someone texting her. Who's the brother? Let's find out.
I'm on call.
No, we know what we want in men. It's just that we're getting into other points. I know what I want in a man. At this point in my life, I can tell you what I want in a man. And if the man comes into my life, I compromise, and I'm seeing that he's not willing to come to the table.
So you can compromise.
I can compromise. He's not willing to come to the table to compromise. He can kick him off
to the side.
Kick him to the off. You ladies seem like very rash. Is that really how you operate on a day-to-day basis?
Everybody knows
you just trash them, bring them in, take them out.
No, I keep it real. I always keep it real. I'm always like this. If you know me, you always know that I keep it real. I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you as it is.
All right, she tells us as it is. Tania, can you tell us as it is?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
What is
I'm
it
not gonna lie. This is my best friend. We
call
talk
out.
every day.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. To the man, yeah, these are my things that I want. Lay it down. We all know what that means.
Okay.
Lay it down.
Lay it down.
Lay it down. Okay.
Lay it down. Okay.
Kill the spiders. Just kill the spiders.
She
change
wrote it.
the tire. I'm serious about that thing. Kill the spiders. Change the tire. I don't have time
Boy,
for that.
let's put it in a
I don't have
man.
that. What she wants.
Boy.
And lay it down. In fact, boy can do that too. So boy.
Uh-oh.
Listen.
To the man, you what you want.
To the man. That's what I'll say.
Is it possible that what you really need is just a housemate?
But that's what boy
No,
is.
I'm just saying, like, maybe you just need a
But
paid,
she's-
you probably need paid service. I'm just
But
asking
she's
you.
telling you
I'll take it. But
paid service.
that's to the man. That's to the man. But the thing is, right, again, to this dynamism of woman and her emotional
world. Let's leave it
emotional everything. We have so much. Women are not simple beings. Women are complicated. That, if any man said that in the panel last week, they were right. Women are complicated beings. So to the man, to the simple being that I am responding to, I'm gonna tell him directly what I need. Lay it down, kill the spiders, right? But I need my friends.
So you really only have two things?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. but the point I'm getting to.
Shortest list I ever heard from
But the point I'm getting to, though, is that you've got your best friends, you've got your family, you've got your co-workers to meet those other needs, and you can use them for your emotional support. I'm not going to go and cry to a man about any kind of thing, but I might go and cry to my friend, right? So I'm just saying that we are dynamic beings. No one person can be everything for somebody.
Thank you.
And what I need from the man that is in front of me today like this is what I said.
Thank you.
Lay it down and kill the spiders.
She spoke her mind. That is what she wants. She told you her mind. That's what she wants.
Okay, so
women are different.
I'm tempted to. I respect.
Are you supporting the man or you're supporting the women?
Listen,
you're going for what the woman wants.
Listen. I'm a host. My duty here is to make sure that I get all the views, so that you speak out your mind. Right. So it's not about representing the men or the women. I'm just here to make sure that I am able to give you the questions that will actually pull out the right information that we want out of the topic. I know, Tania, you talk about, you will not go to the man and cry. This whole companionship thing. So you rather go to your girlfriend. So in other words, this relationship is then lacking emotional vulnerability. I thought when you have the point of having so-called a male companion really is for the emotional ties that come with it. And emotions, be it romantic and everything, is also linked with like that vulnerability. There's a sense of vulnerability.
I won't dominate this thing, but I will say one thing.
Yes.
We haven't mentioned a word that's actually very vital. If we're talking about men and relationships with our partners, whether men or women nowadays, right? A word that nobody has actually mentioned tonight is the word trust.
Yeah, we're still getting
so my thing
we've been talking for like what? Almost
I know, right? Haven't mentioned trust. I said so my thing is because you were talking about spiders. So my thing is when we get to that point, but massa is hard. Y'all men out there, you have to work hard.
On what?
Okay. Like notice how I even said the word, right? To get to that point of trust.
Okay.
It's tough.
Why did I have to
work
hard
not
on
easy.
trust? It seems like women also have a trust problem with the men. If you can't even cry to a guy, it means you don't trust.
Exactly. So he needs to earn my trust.
Why don't you trust him though?
Yeah.
Because I feel
You
like
have to earn trust. Trust does not happen.
I feel like, you know, when you come to the table, there's at least you bring in a level of a 50. You know, you give the person a trust card, and then you can either maintain the trust or you lose the trust. You can't just come not trusting someone.
Maybe
you cannot
they
just
have
come.
the right
You don't know them. You can't just come to the table and I say, I already don't trust you.
Come in with compromise. Come in with understanding. Come in with compassion. So come in, and this is where that softness kind of comes in.
But
come in with all those things.
Come with
but I'm not
compassion
gonna
if I know
come
you don't
in.
trust me.
Yeah.
What am
No,
I compassionate for?
but if I'm compassionate,
You have to
if
keep
I'm
around.
showing you the, if I'm
That's
compassionate,
what I'm saying. But if I feel like you're trusting me, like I don't have to. You're not second guessing everything from the get go.
it's not about second guessing. But honestly, maybe trust me, security.
It means
is the
you're
word.
already doubting them. So what that means is you're coming from this place of everything you say. I have to doubt it until you prove beyond reasonable doubt.
No, what I'm gonna say is I'm not just going to believe everything you say. Say what you want to say. I'll use my judgment because I am woman and I am strong and I am smart and I am this. So I will use my judgment based on what you
She
say.
has all of those instincts. You're right. You
I
have
will
all those
use
So
my
you're not
judgment.
just gonna believe.
No.
So
So
you
you
believe any
you
kind of way,
people
and I'm
fair-
also
a
not
fair-
going to. No, but I'm
You
also
have
not
to-
going
you-
to
you have to give
denigrate
her
what you're
a
saying.
fair chance. You know, like
Yes.
if you just meet a total
But a
stranger.
fair chance is I'm listening. A fair chance is okay, baby. Like, like.
Wow. I love that. Yes.
I love that.
So your short list, that short list, Maika, what is it that as a woman, what do you think women really want? Give me a short list, a rundown list of what you think women want. And then we'll probably go to some of these random questions. Pick a card from here and respond to some of those questions. I just want your short list, and maybe you to give me your short list of what it is that a woman wants.
I say it again: companionship, loyalty. She's gonna kill me. But affirmation. You want to know. you want to know that the person you're with is with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can rely on the person. I mean, at times, even like in my own personal life, like if I have an issue and I have to solve it, I'm like, I wish I had somebody who could solve this with me, or who I could even like.
Was it your mind to solve it with you?
I mean, if
I'm in a
I
relationship,
want you're in a relationship with him.
And I want romance.
If you're not in a relationship, then anybody can figure it out with you.
You can still be in a relationship with a man and then somebody will solve that problem for you.
Not even to solve the problem.
Let's leave it like that.
Hey!
Let's keep going. If we stay here,
to add
no,
on,
I'm just saying he cannot even be the solution to that. He cannot even solve that problem. But you just tell him you're wasting. You just tell him, and then he'll not. At the end of the day, she can be the person solving.
Maybe we're different, but you're very hard.
I'm
I'm
just saying reality. This is what life is supposed to do.
I'm actually saying reality.
She respects
You're having fairy tales.
You block. I'm not having fairy tales. Fairy tales. I'm saying what's real, but
your
reality
you're being too hard.
So Bianca, maybe
experiences. I'm always around a lot of women.
Bianca, so what you're saying is fairy tales don't exist.
They do. No, they do. 2%, and it's very
There's a
insignificant.
percentage. You can't say it doesn't
Very
exist at all.
insignificant.
But it's very minute.
Very insignificant.
So
But you should know how to
Your fairy
recognize
tale
it
is
your way.
human spirit, companionship, love,
You guys will probably not.
Yes,
I love that. Yes.
You just said it though, yes.
Your views don't inspire the guy to create a fairy tale for you because you already have this radical
this
views
wall.
Yes, like
Thank
you know
you.
what? I'm this way and this. I don't
No,
need
you know what?
So
Then you know what?
No,
The
you have
man-
to put your guard up a little.
The man
As he
who
keeps
breaks
going
through
to
that
bring your
wall,
guard down.
the man who breaks through
is
that
a man.
wall,
It's a man.
what will I not do for you?
Thank
the
you.
man who breaks through that wall.
Oh, so you will cook for him because you know he
No,
will
it's
do
not
something.
even just cook.
No.
Oh, it's not even just cook. I will do everything and anything you want. Break through the wall, though.
She
Break
said she
through
will
the
do
wall.
every and anything.
Yeah.
So there's a
Break through
point.
the wall.
So there is a point where you do.
As a man, I will not believe you, Tania.
Don't believe me now. Then only try. Then to me, the one who doesn't believe me doesn't want to try, and I don't want him.
Okay.
But the one who believes me, who
Well, what
tries,
do you think?
who breaks through the wall, we're in it for life, bro.
So basically, what Tania has succeeded to say is that she has built up these walls,
Fine.
and that you've created these walls, and then you're positioning yourself to just sitting there and waiting for some guy to figure out. That's to figure out. That's your fairy wall. That's your fairy tale.
No, that's a man's job to know how to sweep a woman off her feet.
That's a fairy tale. You've created.
You will not be the ready-made woman.
Intentionally difficult.
No,
for someone.
not that it's intentional.
So he has to solve a puzzle. He has
to meet the criteria now.
Yeah,
It's not any kind of man.
Listen. We get to a point in our lives where, if I was younger, I probably would have fallen for almost, anybody who's decently nice, right? Yeah. But the thing is, we get to a point in our lives where I can make my choice. And so my choice is whatever I've listed here today. But there might be a time, and I won't be ashamed to admit it, that if time goes by and I don't find what I want, I might soften up my views, but it would be my choice.
Thank you.
It would be my choice to soften my views, but today like this,
that is a man wants to break through.
No, that is what she wants at this point.
So my point is, I know what I want.
Down the line, she will want something different.
Ladies, let's zoom out.
10 years down the line,
there is a point where you kind of tone down. I don't know if you call it settling. It is settling in a way, because if your list was like that, maybe it just simply means you have realized that you had unrealistic lists. I don't call it settling. Okay. Maybe your expectations were unrealistic. You live long enough to realize that those things are not practical. So it doesn't mean that you're settling. It just simply means that your perspective of life was unrealistic, and now you see that life is not exactly as it is. So you restructure your views.
The difference between me and that is that, like, for me, it has to be that, or it's not gonna work.
I like myself. And that is asking where do you need to say there are so many spiders? That's just a hype.
I just saw one, but I didn't like it.
I think you've managed to say, your security is important to you, and all of those things are important. Let me ask you a question. Describe what is a good man in your opinion. And if you saw a good man, would you recognize it? What is a good man? Give me 3 things that to you defines a good man.
His ambition, respectful, loyal, trustworthy, and then he that emotional support and all of those things. He can sense that you're a woman and he's there. The being there for the woman. She's happy. I know. I saw all of that. She's happy.
Top 3, I would just say God-fearing, ambitious, and.
Is there a point where ambition is too much?
No.
There's
a point where ambition, I really want you to be ambitious. That drive.
For me, it's kind of like you're thinking of the next.
So it's more of a turn on to you if the man is ambitious.
It's a go-getter like me. It must be a go-getter.
There's something sexy.
It is. It's like,
something sexy about a go-getter.
You want to do what?
I know. I just love that.
Let's do that. Do that.
So, are you ever intimidated? How do you feel when a man says they're intimidated by your success? Does that offend you?
I get that a lot. It doesn't offend me. I re-educate them. A man should want a strong woman, a confident woman. You should want all of that. Behind a successful woman, is supposed to be a powerful woman.
But do you feel that men are contradictory in a way? That they say they want these things for women, and then you give them that. And then they have a problem. Then they want you to be something else.
If you're intimidated
because they want
by
to be
my
controlling. They want to be controlling.
If you're intimidated by my success, I ain't got time.
You're a thief.
Bye.
You want to be
honestly, I don't have time to.
And they're insecure.
I don't have time to pander to your insecurity.
Don't be scared that they cannot tell you to watch your clothes. They cannot tell you to cool all of that because you're this strong, powerful. No way.
So do you feel that?
And they're not even bold enough to even say. A man
in your life, is he entitled to tell you to cook for him?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
No, he can ask.
Absolutely.
He can ask. No command. He can tell me, baby, I'll be coming to
baby, I'm hungry.
very late. Cook. Can you cook? Yes, he can ask.
You'll be fine with that. So in today's woman,
no problem at all.
You're fine with cooking for you.
No, it's not like every day.
Even if it's not every day, you know what? Tania, ask. Tell me what you want. But then accept my answer too.
accept your answer. That you can say no.
Which is, baby, I'm busy, so why don't you cook for the both of us?
Do you think so? So should women have predefined roles in the household?
Sure.
Yes.
Equal roles now.
Equal roles.
No, even predefined is fine.
Yes.
If it's that the woman is to cook all the time, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's agree on it. Let's have a conversation.
Just take up.
Be man enough to talk about it. And you know what my problem with men is? My problem with men is that there's this assumption. So let's talk about it. You want me to cook? You want me to take care of the baby? You also want me to go to work? You also want me to look fine? Okay, great. You've given me all of your requirements. Let me give you my requirements too, and you need to be willing to listen. We need to have a conversation about it.
Compromise.
So you're fine with, give me that list. You can work with his list as long as he meets your list.
Sure.
Let's
Compromise
talk
now.
about it.
We can be able to come back to the table and compromise.
Nothing is off
if you
the
want
table.
me to
Let's
cook,
talk
clean,
about it.
do all of these things, then be ready to
But
just
I mean, some people
provide.
would
Be
say
the
that
provider.
is expected that it is the woman's.
Let me ask you a
position.
question, Diane. You're in this office. Let me tell you my schedule every day. I get up in the morning 7 o'clock, make the babies, drop them at school. I start doing lashes from 9 o'clock. I leave my shop at 9:30. I go to work at 10 o'clock. Come back at 7 a.m. in the morning. And you expect me to cook, clean, do all of that?
We have a
baby.
caller.
Bring all of the money and stay home, cook, clean, do all of that.
Hello. This is the dDTalks call.
Hello, dear. This is Dr. Santos.
Dr. Santos.
Dr. Santos, welcome to the call. Yes.
Dr. Dick Santos speaking. I'm so glad listening to the ladies. You know, as a man, I like to listen from the other side of the aisle. How the ladies feel, how they think about us. I'm glad with the points of view of my daughter who is there, Bianca. I'm so proud seeing her in front of the microphone and airing her out her views. And then I'm also proud about Uncle Divine Shamokon, who came in and aired some good points about the debate tonight, which is about women. I think all of you are on the very right track because the bottom line is from a psychological aspect. As a psychologist, I know that every human being has needs and wants in correspondence with the various spans of development. Women are classified in different age groups, and their needs do vary in different points in time. For example, it goes by the age brackets. Your needs as a woman when you were like from 21 or 22 getting to 30 is different. And when you get to 30, getting to 40 is different.
Correct.
We talk about teenagehood. We talk about we go by Eric Erickson's theory of lifespan development. We talk about that, and we look at what all human beings, not only women, their needs will vary. For example, the most difficult period of a human's life, not only a woman, is when you approach adulthood. Because adulthood has a time where you have to attain a certain level of fulfillment. That if you do not attain that, you think all is lost, then your retirement becomes a nightmare. For example, young ladies who are looking for boyfriends, or who are still looking for companionship, will have different needs as opposed to women who have been in marriage and who are preparing for retirement together with their husbands. The needs of married couples are always different from unmarried couples because people have different visions of life. Some women like to spend their life single, maybe because of a bad experience. They have been cheated upon for so long, and they don't want to see a man anymore, and they want to accumulate wealth to spend to pay for their retirement as security. So now when it comes to this question of what can a man really do for the woman to be happy, that's where I'm interested as a marriage family counselor as well. I think that basically some majority of women these days will talk about not going out with a man who is not romantic. Romance is a very important aspect of a relationship. Romance does not only mean sexually, it means appreciative, being appreciative.
Someone said that.
There's something.
Yeah, being able to understand that a woman works When she's coming back home, you are home. At least put some food on the table for her to show that you are romantic. Yes, I go to the kitchen and I cook. Before my wife comes back to work, there's food on the table if I'm not going out that day. She will not tell me to accompany the child to school in the morning. If I know that she comes back at work at 11 p.m. in the night and I was home the whole day, in the morning I will take care of the children and I'll take them to school. Before she gets up, the children are all in school. So, some certain aspects. Then also, there is one capital aspect because women need to be spoiled. These days, women need to be spoiled. Any female child wants to be spoiled. Being spoiled is not that you provide a lot, but shoulder your responsibility in a way that you gain that respect of being the head of the household. Because some men say, I'm head of household by mouth. So and this causes a lot of problems in this society. But let me tell you, you need to identify what anybody you are living with, or anybody who is your companion, what she likes or what he likes, and what he don't like, they do and they don't. And the needs do vary from individual to individual. So,
okay.
That I will go by Alpha Divine Chapel's conclusion in it, all that.
Okay.
Looking for the needs of a woman is like going through all the dictionaries in the world. I rest the case. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Santos, for your contribution. I mean, exactly, you gave us perspective from the psychological side of things. I mean, we like the fact that you talk about that we all have needs at varying points. I think some of the women echoed that very loud and clear, that based on age, you know, at what phase you are in your life, you need different things. So thank you for really validating and confirming what it is that they're saying. But you are right. The question falls back again to the man. What are they bringing to the table? Before they bring, they may bring the best to the table, but if they are not meeting what it is that the women want, that is still falling on dead ears. So let me revert back to the panel and see what they have to say in response to your comment. Thank you so much, Doug, for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
He just hit the knee on the head.
Okay, so what you guys, you feel like he was on point?
He was on point.
That is an experienced man.
Yes.
So yes, we want out to the same thing that we're saying.
Yeah.
What is the man bringing?
That's a
what is
partnership.
he willing to give to satisfy our needs?
But the fun is that it just seems like if he's talking about the partnership, like what you bring to the table, if you're coming, you can build a partnership with someone who is wanting those things,
Yes.
who is wanting a partnership.
Yep.
But if you're coming from the perspective that I don't even need you, I don't want all of
Change
this,
my mentality.
then
If you really want me, be able to work on me. I can. No, if you really want that person, you can be able to work on that person.
There's a call coming in, but before we go there, think about this question. Are women responsible for the part of the type of men that we are have in society today? Yes. Think about it as we come back. Yeah. So caller, you are live on the dDTalks show.
Okay, this is Adam calling. D, how are you?
Oh, good.
Good. I just wanted to contribute something. I wanted to actually piggyback off of what Dr. Santos had just mentioned, and I think he pretty much nailed it, right? Like he actually pretty much summarized it. You know, after following the show for a while, I think the one thing that we might be missing, right? Again, it goes into understanding your partner, understanding the person you're with, and also what are you willing to do. There's things that men and women are willing to do freely. In other words, do without effort. And then there are things that you have to put an effort into doing, right? And once you can define those things, you can pretty much find a partner that you can, you know, call your lifetime partner. What do I mean by that? Let me give an example. Right. Okay. You have a man who naturally, again, you know, we have cultural differences. You know, some people say, "Oh, African man does it, African man does that." But let's put that aside for just for the sake of discussion, right? You have a man who naturally likes to be clean. He naturally likes to clean the kitchen. He naturally likes to do dishes. So it takes no effort for him. That's how he grew up in his household, right? Washing dishes, you know, cleaning the house, maybe doing the laundry. He's a neat freak. Let me put it that way. Now, you get a man like that who affiliates himself with a woman. Naturally, the woman will be like, "Wow, if I'm picking this, you know, I'm seeing a guy who is doing that." Now, he's not doing it because he's trying to please the woman. That's just who he naturally gets, right? So if you go down the list of what that guy does naturally without any effort, most women will be like, "Wow, this is the man. This is the guy who is doing this." He's not going out of his way per se to necessarily give the woman what she wants, but he happens to just be that kind of person who does that particular kind of thing. And the reverse is also true.
Right.
So I think that, you know, you have a scenario where there's a woman who, for example, there's some women out there who, let's say they're driving down the street, and I mean, I haven't seen them yet, but I know they exist. And there's a flat tire. If it's raining outside, she will come out and, you know, get the jack out and change the tire. Now, again, you have to look at the kind of man who'll be like, whoa, so who's want this? I've never seen a one in my life. I thought I should stay in the car with the kids. Let me go change the tire. Now, having said those two examples, right, you now have a situation where you have a man and a woman come together. The question really, the fundamental question really, you know, in terms of what men want and what women want is, how much is your partner willing to go out of his way to bring to the table what the other person is requesting, which is, in other words, he's going out of his comfort zone. That's really what will determine the longevity of a relationship. Compromising, right. That's where the issue is. And now also the other question is, under what circumstances do you just compromise? A lot of people normally will compromise when they're happy, right? If you are happy and you tell me that, hey, Papa, instead of going to bed, instead of having a 6 hours sleep today, we're going to only have a 2 hour because I want us to go to A, B, C, D. If I'm in a good mood, chances are I'll say yes. If I'm in a bad mood, chances are I'll say no. So, again, you're now back. Why am I bringing this up? Because you're now back to that chicken and egg situation, right? In order for somebody to compromise or to be on a positive footnote, you're depending on happiness. You're depending on being in a positive mode, which, believe it or not, depends on your partner as well. So why do I say what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I'm saying that because a woman who is not happy is not willing to compromise to please her spouse, even though she may know what her spouse needs. You might have an itemized list for what the man needs. If she's pissed off, she's pissed off. And the reverse is true. You know, so these compromises are again what you're going out of your comfort zone to do. If it's within your comfort zone, it's not an effort. I consider it an effort when you're going out of the comfort zone. And naturally, as human beings, you're willing or you're more willing to go out of the comfort zone when you are happy.
True.
So if you have a spouse where 70% of what you're bringing to the table is not a compromise, in other words, you're naturally doing what the woman wants or you're naturally doing what the man wants, and you're only compromising for 30%, then that's a longer lasting relationship because in that 30%, yes, you have good days and bad days. And like I said, most people compromise when they're having good days versus bad days. So it's a lot less effort to sustain that kind of relationship, as opposed to one where you have glimmer and everything in the beginning, and then when the few months pass by and people come out of the bathroom to see who the person is naturally, you're like, wait a minute, that's not who I thought it was. You start compromising from day one. Now you're compromising from day one.
Alem, I need you to summarize. We have other callers calling in.
Right. So I was just saying that, you know, in terms of relationships and everything else, you want to look at the compromising factor. That's really what the basic thing is. The least amount of compromise you have to do, the more you'll be able to sustain that relationship. If you can actually look into your partner and figure out that, yes, this is somebody who I'm going to be very, very compatible with, versus having to put all that effort into the relationship when you know very well that, you know, there are going to be good days and bad days, and you may not be able to sustain the relationship. In other words, do not lie on your resume. That's that summary.
Okay. Thank you so much for that vital contribution. Okay. Oh my God, there's another call.
It's only men now.
Okay. Hello, caller. This is your live on the dDTalks show.
Hi. Hello, this is Ken. This is a very healthy conversation right here. And I just want to chip in.
Sure.
It's very interesting. This is my opinion here. And the ladies out here have done a tremendous job, you know, coming out here and actually, you know, saying their hearts desire here. But I believe when it comes to talking about, you know, like women's, what they want, I think it goes beyond that because there's something people don't consider. And I'll talk about it from this perspective. Humanitarian. We're all human beings. And I believe we all have probably the same wants, desires, and needs. We want to be successful. We want someone to respect us. We want someone to kill the bugs, like my sister there was saying. We all need certain things, but it's humanitarian. And I'll tell you from this perspective, I'm a man. And as a human being, I'm just human being, white, black, it doesn't matter. When you are born as a boy, you are molded in a certain way. You are molded to make bricks, dig a ditch, plant. The girls are molded to
cook. So it's sometimes people don't understand that they are not aware that we're being molded in a certain way, and we're not even aware of it. So as a human being, we're molded in a certain way. As a boy, you're molded in a certain way, and as a girl, you're molded. So a girl might think, this is what I want, but you don't even know what a boy wants or a male wants, because we're molded in a certain way. And this brings about gender bias, because it's expected that the woman should cook or she should clean. But you don't know, maybe that male is very good at cleaning and cooking. Like personally, me, I'm good at cooking and cleaning. Okay. So, and I'm good, and I'm very good at shooting too, because I have a ACO license. I shoot. So, but but the thing is,
because you know shooting, you're gonna be shooting many things. You know.
All right.
Ladies, calm down. There's a lot of me to go around. I shoot. Okay. So, but what I'm trying to say is, there's always this gender bias where they feel the guy is supposed to change a light bulb, and then the woman is supposed to sweep, and that's what happens, because we're born into a situation where there's an expectation for a man, and that's what the women are feeling right now. And there's an expectation for the women, and that's what the men are feeling right now. You know, so it's at the end of the day, I always tell women this. This is the way I try to talk to women. I'm like, God forbid if there was a war. You never hear in a war that men got raped. You hear that women got raped. So there's a vulnerability. That's why we as men have a duty to protect women. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day, the thing I really want to pass across is, somebody mentioned it at the beginning of the session. It's what you bring to the table. If you come and not feel like, I'm a man, a woman, or man. No, what is your contribution as a helpmate, as a man, as a woman? Contribution to the table. It makes everything easier where you don't feel like you're under any pressure to be something you're not. Thank you. I'll let you guys discuss.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Ken, for joining the conversation. I think it's interesting. A lot of the men have so much to say in this conversation. Thank you for calling. Ladies, I know you have so much to say in response to all these comments. You probably agree with what he had to say, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. Okay. All right. So, ladies, I know the gentlemen, I think basically what they've just done is validated some of the points that you ladies already echoed. Let's go back to the responsibility of some of the, because we are having these conversations because clearly there remains a disconnect between what women want, what society perceives that to be women's needs and wants, and then what the men are desiring from the women. We don't seem to be coming to a clear middle ground. Men are complaining, women are complaining about the men. So if we are constantly complaining, if you go everywhere, men then are this, men are dogs, men are all of this, right? So the question, because if you're complaining about all these things, what then is it that you would like them to do that will take away those negative adjectives, right? And if we understand that maybe there's nothing we can do right now, but I mean, some of these conversations can begin the dialogue.
Absolutely.
The question though is, do you think that we are sort of responsible for the men that are being the faults that we have, and what are we then passing down? What is the message that we're sending to the next generation that we are raising of children? Are we teaching them something better? Like, you can't be this man that I see today. I'm teaching you to be a better man. Do you feel a stake in that melting pot, in that pie? Do you feel like you're a stakeholder and taking responsibility of
the problems?
Yes. The problems, or what we can do differently? What can we do differently?
Majority of the time, let me see, 50% of the time the woman is the problem. So you have to assess yourself as a woman, know the kind of man you want. Sometimes what you're doing as a woman attract only this kind of men.
Right.
So you have to assess yourself, go back take a different route, maybe you start attracting the kind of man you want, not the kind of man you don't want.
And hold men accountable as well. So don't settle. If you feel like he's not meeting your expectations or whatever the case may be, you should be able to open up and share those things. Like, you have to make them accountable, because if you're not getting whatever it is that you need out of it, then you need to say so instead of settling.
Right.
And just taking it for whatever it is. You should be able to, hey, this is what you're not meeting my expectations, and you need to let them know.
Absolutely.
And if they're not able to meet them, then
absolutely. So you basically walk, right? What you said, walk, right? You had something to say to that, and you're holding your thought. You're holding back.
I don't know if this is a direct response to the question, but the thing is, let's if we're talking, you mentioned the next generation, and it made me remember my little nieces, my little cousins, right, my little sisters. Love is hard. Love is not easy. Like, all this stuff we're saying, even me, as harsh as I might sound, right, in the midst of love, you can become something else. So it's really hard to pass on that knowledge. The only knowledge I would ever pass to my little sisters, to my little cousins, to my little nieces is know yourself. Just know yourself. Because you can be in the midst of a love relationship. And love it's a terrible thing to say, but love is just the most emotionally destructive thing. Okay?
Right.
Because it will make you do things that you yourself, you're just like, I know better, but I'm still doing this thing.
Right.
So my only advice to that next generation, because you mentioned that next generation, is know yourself. And yes, you might find yourself in a situation that your mind knows better, but you're doing something completely different. But when you have a moment to step away, when you have a moment to speak to your best friend, when you have a moment to speak to your family, you realize, because you know yourself. And I think that's, if we have to impart any kind of knowledge, that's where we need to be.
Awesome. Ladies, I know we're probably getting to a point where we're going to be wrapping up soon. I want you guys to randomly pick one question each from the back bucket. Pick one question. Right. Let me see the question.
Hey!
Okay. Pick your question. So ladies, pick your question, and then let's quickly go. Guys, I know some of you may be calling, but I want the ladies to respond to this question, and then we'll come back to the callers.
Okay.
I like my question.
Okay. So go ahead.
I should start?
Yeah, read your
My
question.
question reads, should women split the bill on the first date?
Okay.
Hell no.
Hell no. Okay, tell us why.
Because I have cultural beliefs. I believe a man is a provider. If you're taking me out of a date, you need to impress me. It's not that I cannot buy my own food. I can buy my own food.
Okay.
But you have to impress me to show me that you can buy food for me.
Okay.
So you should pay the bills, guys.
You should pay the bills. So that's on the first date. But do you believe that should be the tradition moving forward?
No, it should not be the tradition moving forward.
Okay.
If I call you that, babes, I want us to go out for dinner, I'm the person inviting you for dinner.
Okay.
I'll pay the bills.
Okay.
But if you're the person inviting me for dinner, God, you should step up to the game.
Okay, step up, guys.
A real man will not even allow the woman to pay.
Real man. We're talking about real men.
Yeah, a real man will pay for all of the bills.
I like that. I'm an advocate for, I think the man should pay on the first date. I mean, at least. Jeez. Why are you taking me out of my comfort zone?
We can all agree on
that.
Yeah,
I mean, but the funniest thing is, I mean, we live in a society where they believe that, you split the bill. I'm not an advocate. If you're taking me out, I'm dressing to come out to meet you. I think
if you're trying to woo me, pay. If we know
if
what the situation is, then we can split the bill.
We're colleagues. If we're colleagues, if we're co-workers, we're just like right off and there's no interest in it.
No,
fine, I'm fine with it. Even then, still, typical gentleman, just
still pay. That's what I love. This is when it comes to this, I love my African men. They pay.
Okay. Some people disagree. What's your question?
This question is actually
okay.
What will make you fight for a relationship if it is going wrong?
Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, let's hear.
Yeah. So it is. That is a tricky one. Considering that this relationship is something that we both want, the person definitely has to be worth fighting for. So unfortunately, in some instances, what the individuals are both, or let me say, this one is a tricky one. You really need to you guys have to want the same things. Your values should pretty much be the same. If my values and your values are not, then it's like, what are you really fighting for? So am I willing to fight for, if it's going wrong? Absolutely. But I have to make sure that it's also what you want, because we have to both put in the work. But if I'm going to be fighting and knowing that you can give two shits less about what's going on, then I'm definitely not going to be fighting. I'm going to let it be, because it's an empty fight.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Right.
So, but you would fight though?
I would fight. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let
me say, for example, we know we have a lot of women in the society that take care of men. When let me say, your investment.
Yeah.
You're putting
yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
No, we have women like that.
Yeah, that's
when
true.
you have invested a lot, trust me, you will not let that relationship go. You do everything in your power to keep it, because you are putting so much time, effort, money. The most important one.
The question is, do you agree that women should take care of men?
It can happen.
No,
it can happen. No, if let's say it was viable, if you guys were steady and then he loses a job, that's different.
That's different.
I'm just saying, like, when you date someone who is already,
if it's broke,
take care can mean many things. Are we saying financially? Fine, baby. If you want me to take care of you financially, there's a lot that you need to bring to the table in return.
Okay.
I'll take care of you financially, no problem.
All right.
But
so
you
what
gotta
are
bring
some of those things that you're willing to trade off?
That's the other guy. I've already given my list.
What is it, Tania?
I've already given my list.
Give the list.
It's a very simple list.
Take care of the spiders and lay down. So if a guy is doing those two things, you're fine with dishing out the money?
Why not?
Okay.
I like going out. I like being busy.
So you don't just mind having a gigolo then? I mean, just someone that shows up. Okay.
Listen, we can call it what we want to call it.
Okay, so today's modern women don't mind taking care of the bills if he can just do those two things. You see, some of the, anyway, I'll conclude later on. So let's hear what your question is.
Sure. My question is there a scarcity of good men? No. And yeah, I think no. I think that there are a lot of good men out there. I think that some men, as women, we find ourselves in relationships that are not for us or that we're not happy in, and therefore we're not performing or excelling to our maximum potential. Exactly. And I don't know any man that I know, whether it's friend, family, ex, whoever. I don't know anybody who hasn't wanted to provide, be a good father, be a good husband or a good boyfriend or whatever, but outside forces haven't really permitted him, or he hasn't really able to overcome certain things to allow him to really do that.
Outside forces. You mean someone who has intentions of being those things, but there are external forces that come into the play.
Yes.
So it means the man cannot hold his own.
That's what I mean.
Doesn't mean that.
That's
a human being. That's a human being.
That's a human being.
That's what kind of man I want in my life.
But don't you think that as a woman you will
I've not said that, but he's still a good man. He's still a good person.
He's a good person. But what I'm saying is that
I mean a good man as a good spouse.
Wouldn't this be a time when you would say this is what you want from a man, that he doesn't let that, if he already believes that you are fit for him?
I'm not speaking about, when I say outside sources, I don't mean like other women. I mean,
no, I'm not even talking about that.
Fighter.
I'm just saying that outside sources could be his own friends, peer pressure, it could be anything.
Right.
What about those things is, can as a woman, don't you think that probably you will be desiring a man who can hold his own, as in, if he's made up his mind that this is what I want, he should be able to stand by his decisions and not fall down, not tilt his views just because someone else, maybe some friends influence his position.
I agree with that, but I'm not. I guess the question is there a scarcity of good men?
Yes.
And I'm saying that no, and I'm saying
but
that.
Then you went to a personal example by saying that some of the people that you've met, they're willing to be all these good things, but then they have been influenced. And I'm saying that
that's half of a man.
Well, no, I don't think that means that they're no longer good. I just think that whatever situation they're in is not for them.
Does not allow them to be
the good men.
Exactly. Like
So it's for and against. If they are good men, but situations make them bad men.
I said men are weak earlier. They need at least a minimum of
That's
strength.
why they need
At least
men.
be small strong now. And I'm like, what are you doing?
So
At least just have a minimum.
I just believe that what a woman would want is a man that can stand firm on his decision.
Yes,
You decide that I want to be with this woman and you stand by
Minimum
it.
requirement.
People
Right.
should not be able to get into your
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
Or people should not be able to deviate to stop you from being a good father. If a man
true.
desired to be a good father, why should
Yes.
another person's opinion matter if his
Exactly.
And I wasn't even
What
speaking.
you want.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be like he lost his job. It could be like he has, I don't know,
If you
whatever
lost-
problems
okay,
he might
then
have,
you better
emotional
No,
problems
if
or
you
whatever.
lost
I don't
your
know.
job, you can clean cars on the
Yeah,
street.
you
can
better
go to
hustle.
McDonald's
Are you kidding
and
me?
clean
Well,
McDonald's.
I'm
and
trying
get
to
the
be
job
realistic here.
she's
And
trying
I'm
to be
talking
realistic.
No,
about
but the hustle is alive everywhere you go.
The thing
Like,
is that you lose your job right
either
there,
have the
but
strength
you
to
come
hustle
back
or
and
you
then
don't.
this reality is that
You have to take care of
But
kids.
if you fall into a cycle, not everybody is able to pick themselves up as fast as you
The
are,
kid did
or
not
I
ask.
am,
It's,
or
I know
other person
it's
is able
harsh.
to.
It's very harsh, but the kid did not ask to come to this world.
and at the end of the day, someone has to take care
whenever we
of
talk
him.
about
Of
kids
the-
even
of the
in this context, we're just
Yeah.
talking about in general.
general, yes.
And if you fall prey of circumstances in life, what makes to be, in my opinion, a good man is that in spite of
Keep it together.
you're able to rise above.
Yeah.
Because if you can be a good woman in spite of your challenges, in spite of, let's say you're faced with hardship and you still rise up and be good, it means you're fundamentally good. You know, so no circumstance.
I don't know.
Let me give you an
to-
example.
to-
You lived with
to-
me when
to
this
be
was.
bad.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
give a very personal example. I was dating somebody. I was living with them, and I had 3 jobs. I would work all day. I would come home. Maybe I would clean, do some laundry, go to work all night. Come back at 7 a.m. He was on some funny diet. I would come, make the food for that diet before I had my 2 hours sleep before going to work again. So that example is to show you that, you know what? I was invested in this relationship. I was willing to work for this relationship, and it wasn't easy.
Right.
But that's the hustle spirit. I'm ready for this relationship. I'm ready to fight for you, and that's me being a good woman. So
that
he
was
cannot
someone who
come here
broke the
today and say
code.
I
So-
didn't.
So that's a guy who broke your fences, like.
But
you
that's
said-
fine. Yeah, he broke the wall. He got the trust, and then he got everything he wanted.
And then he messed up everything because he was not ready to be a man.
So okay, so
Very
what was the point with that? I didn't get the connection.
That he was a good man. He was-
That even despite the challenges,
Right.
you're able to
To
rise
rise
above.
above.
So I
Yeah,
expect
like,
the same from
yeah,
you.
what she
Okay,
says that in
okay,
spite of
okay.
the fact that she
Okay.
had to do 2 jobs.
2
Right,
jobs, I
right.
was barely
Minimum
sleeping. My
sleep.
man was taken
She
care
still,
of.
she still came home and did what she
Yeah.
had to do.
Right. So
You know.
so men.
So I expect that from
despite
the man.
men
So
should do the same
a
thing,
man who
right.
can't do that
You
is
should
not
see
a
what
good
the
man.
stakes
are very
Tanya.
high.
Yeah.
Her stake should be very high.
What is your question, Tanya?
I like my question actually. What are your thoughts on submission and love?
Hey.
It seems very apt.
Yes.
Everything I've said already. Honestly, my thoughts on submission and love is that it's true. I think as we've discussed today, I've realized that break that barrier of trust. When you break that barrier of trust, I do believe the Bible. I haven't read it all. I don't know it verse by verse, but honestly, we are to take care of our men. So part of that is submission, and love is the greatest
Of all.
of all.
Very hard to attain.
So all of that is love, but it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come cheap. It doesn't come with it just doesn't happen to you. You have to work at it, earn it, and when you earn it, you will
Cherish
get it. That's my thoughts on submission and love. Earn it and you got it.
All right, ladies. So we are going to wrap up at this point. That's the 1 hour or 2 hours that we have is not enough. It's really not enough. But guys, this was intended to be a 3-part series. We spoke to the guys last week. We're speaking to the ladies this week. Next week, we hope to bring everybody on the table. We want to have some guys and some ladies on the table to conclude this chapter fast and fast. Let's battle this topic together.
Yes.
You've heard what the women had to say. I don't know if they vocalized enough. Some guys say women don't know what they want, but the gentlemen who called in actually did validate that we had some needs and they actually knew what our needs are. We believe that communication is key. I want you guys one final word. What is your closing remarks? on this topic, and then I'll come conclude for you guys. So what is your final thoughts on the conversation, ladies?
My final thoughts on what men want, on
what women want, please. We're not speaking
So
to men.
my final thought is just that we all boys and women want that companionship, that respect, that loyalty, that trust, security, all of that. Women want all of that. If you're ready to bring that to the table, they are ready to bring that to the table. But if you don't bring that to the table, then you get shams.
Right. Yeah, women should definitely know themselves, and also honesty and communication. Be honest to yourselves. Be honest to what you put in, and vice versa.
Yeah, I agree with that. Honesty. Sorry, the question is final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Final thoughts, baby.
So final thoughts are, I guess based on all this, as a woman, what we want is companionship, loyalty, freedom, and to be heard and seen. Yeah.
Heard and seen, absolutely. What are your final thoughts?
I'm gonna echo the world. I didn't write them down. I wrote them down. I realized we were saying the same thing. The honest truth is that this question was, what do women want? And I want to communicate to our women, to my sisters, to the women. Know yourself. That's the ultimate thing.
Right.
Know yourself. Know your limits. Know your boundaries. Just because you feel, there's no such thing as feeling weak or feeling like, I'm not getting what I want. If you know yourself, accept that that's all part of life. Accept that sometimes love is going to make you do crazy things, and that's part of life, right? So ultimately, if you know yourself, then the decisions that you make, you can't regret.
Right.
You can't step away from them. They are part of you, and they only make you stronger. Know yourself. That's it.
Absolutely. I know. I said it was a final thought, but do you think that nagging is something that can be fixed?
Sure.
Yes.
There's
It has
a cause.
to be fixed.
There's a root cause.
There
to
was a
nagging.
reason.
There's a reason.
There's a
why she
reason
nags.
as to why
I
she
think we
nags.
all agree on that.
Stop
Then, yeah.
nagging.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might be drinking too much, coming late very in the night, she keeps nagging. Stop drinking, she goes back to who she was. You do something wrong, she keeps nagging. Find out why she's nagging. That's a communication style.
But if you met the man that was already drinking and doing all those things, you
So what are you nagging?
No, you
at?
don't expect.
I feel like as a woman, nagging
So
should
if
be
you-
something that we do.
Women tend to express themselves through nagging. So that's why
True,
why-
so that's how we
feel like
express
a lot of
ourselves.
women.
Okay.
So let's be realistic. Let's not sugarcoat it. A lot of women tend to express themselves through nagging. I'm telling you, stop bugging the man. Let him be and work on yourself.
But then that's the opposite of nagging.
Yeah,
I don't believe that we should be
should
nagging.
be
I don't
nagging.
believe. Yeah.
At some point, if you said it once
You
or
can
twice,
do that. You're not nagging.
if you said it once or twice,
Yeah.
and
You might
he's not
think that-
listening, stop.
You might think
Until
that
you
you're
figure
not
it out.
nagging.
Ask
him.
So if the problem is not being solved, though, you
Then you have to decide what you're gonna do.
What you're gonna,
Right.
what your
So you
limitations
should
not
know
are.
listening
what
to
it
you.
is. How far would you go then?
Exactly.
Would you stay there if he's not
Willing
not
to
listening,
change?
He's not willing to change.
Pack
You're
your
not.
bags.
No, because that's part of his affection for you too, right?
Right.
And you have to care about yourself enough to say that, hey, if this guy is
Not
understanding what I want, I'm communicating clearly, not by nagging, but I'm communicating clearly what I want, and he's choosing not to do for me.
Right.
That he's not for me.
Okay.
Even if he's not choosing, and he's not able to.
I
do
can't
it.
believe that we had this whole conversation without talking about cheating. But if your man cheated on you, would you stay or would you walk?
I will not. Why will you leave? Discipline him.
I won't leave.
I
won't leave
Please,
either.
it's in their
All
DNA.
men
There's nothing wrong with cheating.
It's either you have met a man that has not cheated and is still going to cheat, or you have met a man that has cheated and is tired of
There's
cheating.
nothing wrong with cheating.
Wow. There's nothing wrong with
Communication
Yes.
is key.
Yeah.
Honesty is key. There's nothing wrong with cheating.
Tell me that baby was a
So, in other words, you find out that he had something. You're
No,
just fine with
finish
it.
you.
We'll
Life-
talk about
life
it.
goes
No,
on.
I can't lie and say I'll be fine with it. I won't be like, oh baby, I'm so happy
if you're
for
not
you.
fine with it, then it means
No,
something's
but
wrong
it's
with
fine.
it.
I won't leave.
You will
Why would I
no.
leave?
No, the problem
Because
is
he
that
cheated.
you will do counseling, all of that, and you walk through that.
You do counseling.
What makes you think that leaving A for B,
Communication.
A will not cheat, B will not cheat?
Do you do counseling if you're just
We are
dating,
not-
or
we are
counseling
not-
is only when you're married?
even if you're dating, like I said, you've invested a lot. Both of you have invested a lot.
Yes.
Can you throw a 20-year relationship down?
Why are you dating for 20 years?
Some people do. Don't question.
No, 20 years. If you are dating for 20, there's a problem right there. Why are you dating for 20 years?
Don't say.
No, there
you
is
don't
a
see.
problem.
You asked a blanket question.
You asked a blanket
You asked a blanket
question.
question, and the blanket answer is no. I will not leave
But there's
because
some
he cheated.
people who do not want to be married, so they would just rather date.
Yes. I mean,
In
like
that sense.
Oprah is
Now-
doing it.
Yeah, so if you're dating to be married, then you're dating for 20 years and it's like, but if you guys are just dating because you know that tomorrow I am
yes,
not going to be
it's
married.
an agreement that you just want to be
But
together.
no, I will not advise any woman to leave, especially
Just
your man,
because.
just because he cheated. Women, we have African
Do
men.
you realize that?
We
so
know-
what's the point of saying? What was the point of like how Anyi said, like what is it? Encourage him? No, correct him.
Teach him, correct him,
But don't leave him.
Don't even teach him.
It's slightly different.
There are
It's
10 other
slightly
ways.
different.
So-
I'm not here to educate some men.
Yes.
But know my value, right? Cheat. If you want to cheat, go do your thing. I beg. Sometimes I just want to sleep. So like, if you want to go do your thing, just go do your thing. But come back and respect me. You come and you disrespect me, we have other kinds of issues. Do what you gotta do, but let's be happy in the household.
Please, thank you. Don't bring back HIV. Don't bring
I
back
know,
baby
right?
mama drama.
Let's be happy in the household.
Use your condom well.
If your husband or your,
Don't bring
or
no
your
babies.
boyfriend is cheating on you on the regular, that's okay.
No, that's disrespect.
On the regular, that's disrespect.
Okay.
On the regular, that's
So the
disrespect.
Most women find out that their husbands are cheating when they go snooping.
So your problem
I
is the
don't
frequency.
I don't
not
snoop.
the fact that
I'm not gonna check your
you
phone.
cheat.
I want to
Why
do
would I
that
check it?
myself.
Guys, they go snooping
So
and
if
then
you cheat like maybe twice a year or 3 times, maybe every
But what
4
we
days.
do
you
you
now?
pretending. African men are bound that they cheat all the time.
Are you sure African
You
women
see
aren't
that?
cheating the same
We
way?
are
Women
worse.
are cheating.
Are you sure African women aren't
They are
cheating the
worse
same
than
way?
the men.
Women are cheating too. So, but what I'm saying though is, so what you guys have a problem with apparently is just the frequency.
No.
So
No, I don't have the problem with the frequency. I have a problem with the
What
disrespect.
if you wait?
Don't bring it to my house.
Don't
Don't let me know
what if
about
so you
it.
will
Don't let
just-
other people who are our friends know
No.
about what you're doing.
Do your business. Do your
Like,
thing.
do it in secret.
So wait, hold on. And then now, what if he has a girlfriend? Is it like, it's okay if it's a girlfriend, or is it just like a
That's your
one-time thing,
overstepping your
one-time-
boundaries.
one-time-
Let me tell you how some men will
Yeah,
do
so
it.
if he's
Like they
having
go
a
to the
fling, you're fine. But
Yeah.
if he has a side chick, like which is a permanent.
How
But
many
the thing
people
with the
see
side
me?
chick,
That
the
means
thing
I'm
with the
nothing
side
to
chick
you.
is that it will ultimately come
Come
into
to
your
light.
home.
Yes.
I think
The thing with the side chick is that he'll be talking to her.
Why are
and
you
he's
pretending
supposed
all
to
of
be
these
there
men
with the
cheat?
babies,
Is it-
not
no,
with
no,
you.
no, no,
That will
But
ultimately
you were fine with him doing his
No, but that will
So you will
ultimately
leave
lead
it
to
because you
disrespect.
cheat.
My thing
The
is,
next
So
one
you
will
rather
not.
so let him
Do
just
what
go
you
pay
gotta
for
do,
it.
but don't
Go pay-
disrespect
Maybe go
me.
pay for it.
Your people do it. Go
I
to the
don't
swing
care.
club. Enjoy yourself.
Don't
Come back
bring
home.
disease
My problem
and
with
don't
this
disrespect
conversation
me in
is the fact
public. Do what you gotta do.
I don't want to say something and then it makes the guy feel that, oh, she
It's
gave
okay.
me.
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. What you
just said it. You just said
But
it.
no, I'm not. I will
Okay.
not make the man know. There's a way to discipline a man that will pain him even more than
Ladies, I beg to differ with you. But I
Leaving
feel,
him will
I
make
feel
it
like
too easy.
infidelity is infidelity. There's nothing
Leaving
like
him-
there's nothing like
Show
you
me
know
a man
it's
that
enough
doesn't
is
cheat.
you doing
Yeah.
the frequency should not
No
matter.
matter. Once
If you're
you-
stepping
The
out,
problem,
you're stepping
no,
out.
the problem is I've not met one that doesn't
Infidelity is infidelity,
Maybe
but how
that's
does
you,
it
though,
affect
no.
you?
There are faithful
No,
men out
even
there.
we go on statistics.
Infidelity
The
is
percentage
infidelity.
2% of men in the world don't cheat. 2%.
But
It's too
I
slim.
don't-
Go on statistics. It's either you meet the man that has not
At the
cheated
end of the
and
day,
is going
cheat
to cheat,
if it's
or
gonna
you
bring
meet
you
a
home
man that
happy.
has cheated and is tired of cheating.
If
There is
cheating,
no man that
if
doesn't cheat.
cheating is gonna bring you home happy, I bet
Thank
cheat
you
and
so
come back
much,
to
guys. Ladies, thank you so much
Oh
for
my God.
a conversation
Continue next week.
Thank you so much for a
Never
conversation
ending.
that will carry into the week and into the next week, okay? So thank you, ladies, for voicing your opinion. I love the fact that all of you were extremely vocal and you express your views, but I disagree on all the things you've all said. Infidelity is one of the things that I'm not a proponent of. If people want to go,
As an African woman, at your cultural value and beliefs, African, you know the thing. Let's not sugarcoat. African men cheat is in their DNA.
all right.
Let's not
women
sugarcoat it.
So, guys, if you were watching this particular episode, this is your host, Diane, on the dDTalks show. What we had today was a panel of 4 ladies trying to summarize what it is that women of nowadays are looking for. What is it that women really want? And of course, we're focusing on relationships. I had with me Bianca, I had with me Anyi, I had Maika, and I had Tania. All of them came from different schools of thought, different ideas, different opinions. I hope you enjoyed the show.
I did.
You did.
Yes,
Next
We'll be
week,
back.
guys, we're having a panel. Men and women come together for us to conclude this topic once and for all. Guys, I always like to tell everybody, if nobody has told you that they love you, guess what loves you? It's your girl Diane, and I love you passionately. I love you passionately with the love of God. Do not go yet. We have to close out with a beautiful song from Kali. So we have to close out. Ladies, feel free to dance. This is our girl Daphne. Let's conclude the episode. Thank you. Have a phenomenal week, y'all. All right. Thank you, ladies, for coming so much.
And Bianca, so you sing this song.
All right,
I
guys,
sing
enjoy.
Bye,
Bye, guys. No, bye. Hey.
Boy, I'll give you an answer.
Okay.
All the time. Do you remember?
Okay. Y'all want to dance with the audience? Hey, I love you, sweetie. Keep going. Can you just make this splash? That's what I'm saying. Hey!
Oh, hi.
Hey! Hey!